LA, okay, City of Angels, you have Hollywood, you got a lot of really cool stuff in Los Angeles, and even now, I heard the tourism industry in Los Angeles is still pretty decent. Obviously, nobody's going to downtown. That's kind of like where all the tents are. And it's crazy, guys. LA has one of the highest homeless counts in the world. I heard it's top 5 with city with the most homeless people. This is crazy. Now, if you just compare that number with a city 4 times its size, 5 times its size, like Tokyo, for example, they only have like 3,000 homeless people. LA has 75,000 people. That's basically a small city. Basically, all of downtown in LA is just filled with homeless people. City doesn't care. There's literally tents everywhere. Like, literally, city does not care at all about the situation. And this is why LA has some of the highest vacancy rates in the world, right? Like, the commercial real estate sector is screwed, and the number of homeless people in Los Angeles increased by 9%. And this is crazy because just regular working day people, those guys are moving out. Los Angeles population drop is by far one of the highest in the US. It's like top 5. Not only is it top 5 in the world for the amount of homeless individuals, but it's top 5 of the cities to move out. Now, Los Angeles also lost 90,000 people in the first 2 months of this year. 90,000 people. That's a lot of people. Okay, net outflow. And this is why places like Florida gained 1 million people, Texas gained 2 million people at the expense of California. Nevada is also gaining people. People are leaving Los Angeles in droves. The city doesn't care. There's tents everywhere, homeless individuals everywhere. When there's 75, almost 76,000 people that are homeless in Los Angeles, the city is basically doing nothing. They're just putting on band-aids on the wounds, and they're doing nothing. Here's my take on this. Clean up the camps, clean the homelessness, try to lower crime as much as possible. Just clean up the streets, and also just build some housing for the homeless individuals. It's really that simple. And if you look at San Diego, they're trying to do as much stuff as possible. They just recently put a ban on street tents, but at the same time, they're trying to make like housing for the homeless. So San Diego is still pretty bad, but at least they're trying, right? Los Angeles, San Francisco, they're not trying at all. And check this out. Nearly half of California residents are considering leaving the state. A new poll has found that out. And guess what most of these residents who want to leave say? They say the same thing. Number one, there's homeless people everywhere. There's tents everywhere. And the hygiene of downtown cities are very, very lacking. Not to mention crime is rampant. And opening a business not only is very hard because there's so many strict laws in California to open a business, but the taxes are high. And a lot of stores just don't make that much money because of low tourism and also high crime. So it's basically GTA 5, Liberty City, I guess, whatever, in California. California, it's just filled with lawlessness. Like, you could rob like CVS like $600-700 and nothing really happens. That's a thing, right? And a lot of other cities around the world, I've asked some international guys, and they're pretty shocked about how California operates things. And they say, like, back home in their city, you will not see tents and open air drug markets. You would not see that. California I have no clue how they're doing this. This is why everyone's going to Miami. Housing is cheaper, weather is even better, and downtown Brickell doesn't have freaking camps. That's it. People will live in a city if it's clean, right? And the city just doesn't really act. And same thing is happening with like San Francisco. Homeless rush in where tourists fear to tread in San Francisco. So the tourist traps are kind of like where all the tourists go for like pictures and stuff like that. I mean, most of the Instagram stuff you see about San Francisco are all in the tourist areas, right? Now there's homeless individuals. There's tents popping up in the tourist traps. Guys, you got to save the cities first and then save the homeless people. Right now, businesses are leaving because tourism is down 16%, but people say it's way more than 16%. It's probably 25 to 30, even 50% at this point. Tourism is not great, especially how the consensus of most tourists that go to San Francisco is just pretty poor. They say the hygiene, the cleanliness of the streets are lacking. They'd much rather go to places like Miami and even freaking San Diego than San Francisco or LA at this point. A lot of tourism is shifting away from some of the major Pacific cities towards the East Coast right now. A lot of people like Panama City, they like Tampa, they like Florida. They also like the Bahamas, the Cayman Islands, stuff like that. Seems like a lot of people just aren't going to California for vacation for good reason. When there's crime everywhere, when cars of tourism are being broken in, it's not a great sign for any city. Like I said before, in the place, 7,000 homelessness, have descended upon downtown and tourist traps. Hotels, stores are closing, and the future of Bay Area is under a big cloud. Guys, San Francisco is a massive tech hub. This is kind of like where all the big startups are, right? Startups come here, Uber is here, Lyft is here, Twitter is here. But now these guys all want to leave for good reason. It's unlivable. If you're a CEO, if you're a top manager, if you're a top brass making a bunch of money in San Francisco, you can't even have a nice car parked outside of it being broken into. You can't even have a good condo when there's tents outside your condominium. People don't want to live in San Francisco. This is why San Francisco's population is declining by 5 digits. It's one of the fastest declining cities in the US. In fact, let me rephrase that. It's the number one city where people are moving out. There's homeless people everywhere. The city doesn't care. Okay, what they need to do is ban homeless encampments on the streets, at the same time offer affordable housing, build some housing. Like seriously, they have a lot of money. But now they're just doing ads and pop-up stores. I have no idea if that's even going to help. I don't think promoting pop-up stores in San Francisco is going to help anything. I don't think ads are going to help anything. You just got to treat the root of all the problems. And I guarantee you, all those tech companies that left are going to be flooding back. People love San Francisco. It's a great place. Culture's great. The startup scene is hot. And it makes people work. I always liked San Francisco. I've always said that when I graduate, I'm going to go to San Francisco to work. Not anymore. Miami is my number one destination. It is hot. Okay, at least there's no tents in downtown Miami. Okay, go to Brickell, go to Miami Beach. It's actually clean. Okay, the nightlife's incredible, and cars don't get broken into 24/7. And people are just done with this. They're leaving. And it's a shame, right? And former homeless man says Denver will be the next San Francisco if leaders don't change. Like I said before, I think San Diego kind of saw the same thing. They saw San Francisco seeing such a big, massive tourism drop. When tourism drops for a city like that caliber, a lot of stores closed. Mom and pop stores closed, small business stores closed, and whole streets are empty. And that's exactly what's happening. Look at some of the walking tours. A lot of buildings are empty. Look up to the skyscrapers. Half of that's vacant. It's really bad. And like I said before, nobody will ever open a store in a place where there's just lawlessness and crime everywhere. And like I said before, it is crazy. Okay, San Francisco is absolutely insane. Now there's even a fire on the Indian consulate. This is bad. This does not look good for the whole entire US. And this is actually a really big trending news article over in India. And of course, it gives San Francisco a terrible rep. And that's a criminal offense, guys. And that is something that you don't see in other cities in the US. I mean, this is huge. It's getting to this situation where even consulates are being attacked. I mean, I have no clue what California is doing. I really do feel like they're running themselves to the ground. High taxes, very high crime. I have no clue. I have no words. I feel like they really have to fix stuff. They still have time to fix it. I feel like if they just don't do anything for the next 2 or 3 years, it's going to get even worse. Okay, especially how San Francisco is now running at a budget deficit. And that's terrible. See you guys later.